to get the ice open.
Yeah.
It's got one of those metal clips rather than.
Oh, beautiful. Gotta love that.
Yeah.
Here, you need a pair of pliers to get into it?
No, I got it.
All right. Well, let's kind of look in over here and see if I can get our live feed going on here. So thank you all for your patience, those that are with us.
All right, there we go. That's going in the garbage.
Go this.
It'll end up in somebody's foot.
And that. Yes, we don't want that. Okay, we are live. What in the hell?
How do we look?
I think we look fine, but huh? Hang on, let me see what is wrong with that.
I'm making your drink.
Okay, there we go. I believe we are back, and I can see the chat maybe at some point. We're having a good time at the Laurel and Hardy side tonight after all. Here, I thought I had everything set up right. That's what I get for thinking. All right, here, we're going to do this. So welcome to Loquacious Libations. We're doing the Ana de Armas
Old fashioned.
Old fashioned tonight.
There's a video that she did. She's a big old fashioned fan, and for those of you that don't know her, I first caught a glimpse of her when
live chat now.
When she was in a Bond movie with Daniel Craig. Not the last one, the second to last one. She was a CIA. She played a CIA agent that met him in Havana.
Gotcha.
And I was like, oh. And of course, I mean, being a Bond girl, of course, she's attractive.
Right.
So, but then I caught Bruzel talking about making a cherry syrup old fashioned. And so I just did a Luxardo syrup old fashioned is what I put into YouTube.
Right.
And he came up first, but then she came up as the second video. I was like, oh, okay. Well, I like, who is this woman? I don't know who she was.
Right.
So then I had to look up who she was. Oh, she's a Cuban actress. And Cuban actresses have a penchant for getting cocktails named after them.
Gotcha.
So, but I think the most interesting thing this week is actually the whiskey.
Yeah, and you were telling me about that earlier. I'm really anxious to try this. This sounds very cool.
Jack came home with this. He was at a big box store. Sounds a lot like Total Wine.
Okay, gotcha.
And the owner of this company was there. No, they're not a distiller. They're a blender. So they buy contract barrels. Okay, and then they finish and blend. Okay, well,
Gotcha.
this is a finished whiskey. It's not a bourbon because it wasn't aged in virgin barrels. Okay,
Gotcha.
so but they took a bourbon, and then he took tart. He bought barrels that maple syrup aged in. Okay, so he filled those barrels with tart Bing cherries from Michigan.
Wow.
Then put the whiskey in the barrels and finished it for 6 months and then bottled it.
Wow.
Okay, so
that's going to be tasty.
And this is
it's dark too.
And it's specifically he stopped Jack. He said, "Hey, do you like old fashions?" And Jack's like, "Yeah, I like an old fashioned." He goes, "I have a whiskey for you." Yeah. And so he designed this with making old fashions in mind.
All righty then. What's the price point? We're here, our value proposition. What's our price point on that?
Well, you would think it's expensive, but it's not. $33.
Damn.
Well, it's not a bourbon.
Right.
Okay. It's an American whiskey. And the cherries, the sale of the cherries, because they're whiskeyed cherries, offsets the cost of production.
Where do you get those whiskey cherries?
That's one of the things that Jack asked, but he sold the whole lot to somebody else.
Oh, damn.
So,
all right. Well, I may have to go get me a bottle of this.
Yeah, $33. I mean, it's here. Is it the best whiskey you'll ever have? No, it's not. Is it tasty? Yes, it is tasty.
Well,
Obviously,
I'm thinking not just even old fashioned, but
it's not a bad sipper. I mean,
yeah.
when Jack brought it home, of course we cracked it and took the neck pores.
Mm-hmm.
Get the last two cherries out of here.
Sweet.
I saved the last two cherries for us.
And again, just for anybody who might be watching, where do we get these again?
The cherries,
Mm-hmm.
I buy them on Amazon. They're 21 or $23.
Yeah, I looked it up earlier. It was
They're
like
not cheap, but
$23.99.
okay, you
Was
get
that
you get what you
$1 per
pay for.
cherry?
Yeah, about that.
But hey, these are worth it. I can tell you that.
I should have done the syrup first.
Ah, there's there's Lee. So it looks like you got your shit together now. Yep, I finally got it together.
Wait,
I was a little hasty when I went to set up the event this afternoon and forgot to change the horizontal.
there we go. Get a little more of that syrup in there.
On it. Yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I've been looking for. Actually, you know what? I don't know why, but all day I put up the Christmas tree today, and I put up the lights, and that's just a project. I don't have a real tree. I have a fake tree, so
Right, yeah.
it gets squished flat on one side when you put it back in the box. So
I have the ultimate fake tree.
yes, you do have the ultimate fake tree, which I notice is not up yet.
Not
so.
up yet, but yeah, we're getting it going too. We had quite a time actually locating all of the Christmas items this week. And I'll go into that more a little bit later too.
Oh, look at how dark that is.
Lee says, "Let the record show I was already in when you shut down."
Yeah, you know, I think. Oh, he was one of the three waiting.
Yeah, that was already waiting on us for the other.
Look at how dark that drink is.
I see that
From
and
that syrup.
and I was actually noticing too.
That's a
how
dark
the
whiskey, yeah.
is. Here, let me bring this up here. First, I'm going to show the.
They're out of
the label.
Lakeland, Florida.
Okay, so VB is the.
It's
the
either
maker.
VB or 3B or whatever it is. I think it's VB.
Yeah, and
or
so that's the
V3.
tart cherry whiskey, and you see how dark it is. I think there's enough lighting behind here that you would be able to see some shine through it if you could. But and then adding that really dark Luxardo syrup to it.
Well, and I guess he said the maple syrup stains the barrel pretty hard too.
I can see where it would do that and affect the color of the whiskey itself too at that point.
I'm sure.
Here, and let's bring that whole thing over here. We'll show
Yeah,
off
show it off.
these nice glasses too again. My roulette glasses. Are we in frame there? Yeah, nice reddish tint to it.
I mean, I got to believe that this is going to be
Ooh, smells really good.
very tasty.
Yeah.
The whiskey is an interesting whiskey.
That smells really good. Yeah, I'm thinking I might have to get me some of those cherries and some bitters so I can start doing some old fashions
I just
outside of the show here and there.
yeah, it's my sit down Friday night and Saturday night beverage.
Right.
I'm a big old fashioned fan. And I think that's just like you're a Manhattan fan from your grandpa. I think that's because my parents drank old fashions. That's what they drank.
You're turning me into an old fashioned fan after these last few weeks.
Well, I'll tell you. Well, I was turning you into a gin fan too.
He's just turning me into a lush over here.
I was just going to say I'm turning you into an alcoholic. Nah, hey, we stay to the rule.
Yeah.
One and done.
One and done. If we do a second one, that's pretty much it. That's all we ever do each week is right here for the most part. I might have the occasional beer on the weekend or something, or a toddy or something. But or here recently,
Yeah, I
eggnog.
mean, I just really I don't drink that much. Boy, that is red and dark.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? It's kind of getting in the Christmas season.
Yeah. And hey, cherry drink, Christmas season. We got the red cloth out here now.
We just don't have our Christmas gear on yet.
I can quit anytime I want to, he says. Lee.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Sleigh bells, too. Yep, Scott just had us some sleigh bells going.
Toast, everybody.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, my gosh.
That syrup's really thick.
Yeah.
It makes for a very viscous drink.
It does. It does. But it's tasty, too, at the same time. Pretty sweet.
It's not my favorite old fashioned.
No.
But it's good.
It is.
It is. That whiskey is
Pretty strong.
It's only 80 proof too.
Yeah. But it's got a little bite, little hug to it. Nice.
That cold is still hanging
Damn,
around, making me nuts. Today.
Lee said he figured it would be pretty sweet.
Yeah, it is. Well, that's why the recipe only calls for a half an ounce of the Luxardo syrup.
Right.
And I was hesitant I would hesitate now to even put that much in.
Certainly looked like it would go on pancakes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty damn thick.
Yeah, it is. It's thick and it's sweeter than maple syrup.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it's much sweeter.
Because it's got to cure the cherries.
Right. Plus, I imagine we're probably getting a level of sweet out of this as well, just from the natural sugar of the cherries that this aged with. Even though they're tart cherries.
Now last week or on the weekend, when Jack brought that over, we made old fashioned with simple syrup and that whiskey, and I would say that was better than this. It's the cherry is almost overpowering.
It is.
Here, you want to stir?
Sure, yeah. And I'm gonna do like you and kind of squeeze that lemon into it too.
Yeah. I don't like getting my grimy hands on your food.
No worries.
And your drink.
No worries. Seed.
But it does offset the flavor a little bit.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I did lemon rather than orange. I was debating that today, and I'm just like,
I
no.
think the lemon was a good choice there too.
Yeah, because it cuts on
the orange might be a little too sweet to add to that.
That's what I was just going to say. It cuts on the sweetness.
Nice.
This isn't a bad. You know what? This is a holiday.
Not bad at all.
This is a holiday.
It's
drink.
a great holiday drink.
Yeah.
And you know what? I never did go back and send you some of those other holiday drinks that we talked about, but got a seed in here. Fishing. Going fishing over here.
Yeah, well, I saw the Whiskey Rita, or not Whiskey Rita, the Cran Rita already.
Yeah. It's a cranberry margarita holiday.
Christmas Rita, I think it was what it was called. Because you said Wayne Powers wants us.
Gray Man Lee says, how would a lime do then? Lime with cherry. That makes sense too. That makes a lot of sense. I mean, hell, you see cherry limeade all over the place at Sonic.
Absolutely.
There's slushies and shit. So that'd probably be a very good, or maybe a bit of grapefruit, he says. That too. Pink grapefruit.
Sure, probably be good in this.
With the cherry. I can see where that would be tasty.
I mean, I'd like to try the lime.
Yeah, that too. More excuses to drink them again.
I got a lime at home too.
So when are Jack and Colton going to come on and be on the cast with us?
Good question. Jack, here, I brought Jack his dinner tonight because usually he comes over on Wednesdays.
Right.
And a lot of times we cross each other going back and forth.
Back and forth because he lives right over here. Right?
Correct.
Lee said to offset the sweetness on that. But anyway.
Oh, yeah, I totally agree with you, Lee. That actually would offset it quite nicely.
But hell, I mean, he could walk over here.
Oh, quite easily. In under 5 minutes, probably.
And has.
It's funny because Elizabeth called him, told him what we're having, and he's like, I was asleep. He had such a long day at work.
Oh no.
So, I've told both of them that they're more than welcome to come. That
Anytime.
we'd like to have them.
Yep.
I said the only time we really wouldn't want to have you is during one of our blinds because we just don't have that many Glencairns. Unless we do
Buy you a set of
a-
Glencairns you can sit in.
a single. If we're just going to do a Glencairn tasting of
Right.
a single thing, like this wine would be worthy of doing a single. Hey, let's just taste it
all
neat.
round taste
Yeah.
there instead of a blind. But yeah, the blind would be the only situation where we wouldn't.
Or if we stumble across, like we're in, hey, that raffle should have gone off.
Yeah, and we didn't get it.
Oh damn!
I saw it the other. I meant to tell you about that. So Bourbon Barn, the store down the street. Well, I just gave their name out, but anyway, they were doing a raffle for getting
Your choice of a bunch of shit,
at MSRP.
which would have been
It was
cool.
allocated bottles.
Yeah, you could have got Stag Junior at MSRP.
Right.
That's really good whiskey. I
But
mean, that's
apparently
top. That's
apparently
top shelf.
They allocated it though.
They allocated it.
I'm thinking that by the list that I saw, it just had a name next to the ones that were the bottle, and there was one guy that did two.
Well, he
So-
might have gotten 2 entries.
Right, but I'm don't remember if you actually had to write which whiskey you were interested in or not. You see what I mean? So I think it's okay. Here, you get this for MSRP if you want it.
I would think it would be like whoever you draw first,
Right,
you get your choice.
right.
I don't know. What do I know?
Cold weather, that old broken ankle.
Messing with you, huh?
Yeah, it's been fiddling with me some. So yeah, I broke an ankle tripping over an 80-pound dog about 10 years ago. Right.
I remember when you
Yeah,
did that.
2015.
Yeah.
Because I had a spate of years where every 2 years I was in the hospital for something. That sucked.
I've been looking forward to this drink all damn day. Mm-hmm. And now I got a runny nose all of a sudden. And I took my normal
Alcohol.
stuff from
That's
the
what-
cats. I mean, what the hell?
I don't know. And we clean like we normally do.
Oh, yeah, I know.
And hell, Betty had just finished vacuuming when you got here. Lee says 2015 he went to Israel. I remember that.
That's cool. That'd be a cool trip. Never been
I
that.
do remember that.
But never been there.
One of the
Been
talk
to that
radio
part of the
shows.
world, but not there.
I was listening to talk radio all day like I normally do. And one of the guys from one of the shows that I listen to is going to Israel next week. They'll be
Cool.
there all week reporting from over there.
For the holiday season.
Right.
Plus,
So-
there's a lot of shit going on there.
Oh, there's
Obvious,
plenty of
quite obvious.
craziness out there, right?
Yeah,
All right. So
plenty of craziness here. We're going to get to the craziness roundup now.
We're going to go ahead and do the roundup.
Go ahead.
All right. Well, first, we had a little fun with the clapboard tonight. I don't know if y'all noticed since we were, well, here. The clapboard didn't appear on this one. It was on the other one.
Oh,
So here, we'll get Lee to see this. Jerusalem is special. It's tangible. It's like coming home to a place you've never been. That's what he said about Jerusalem.
interesting.
So there's our clapboard for the day, right there. And yeah, if you look in the little section over there on the right, pardon me. Nice mustard there too, Scott.
Yeah, well, I tried to draw a little Grey Poupon. Pardon me.
Do you have any Grey Poupon?
Yeah, that's the most interesting craziness thing because, as I'm sure many of you have already seen, there's been 500 lawyers now jump online and said, well, that's the dumbest thing he could have done.
Well, there was another person that said that it was unconstitutional the way that he went about it.
And here.
But yeah, from your angle, I know where you were going, and I cut. you
Yeah,
off.
no,
I didn't mean to.
is it unconstitutional? I have no idea.
Right.
The president, when it comes to pardons, has such a wide-ranging ability
Right.
to hand them out.
And he was talking about something about the way that it was written, that it was more like a press release than it was an actual pardon. the legal language that he wasn't. It was the judge. One of the judges said he wasn't totally dismissing the case until he saw the actual language of the pardon itself. That all he had seen was the press release version of it.
And I'm sure that the White House
So-
lawyers got the language.
Oh
right.
yeah,
I
I'm
mean,
sure. Yeah.
But here, I think it leads us to, if you receive a presidential pardon, you can be called to testify about crimes that are covered by that pardon, and you no longer have the ability to claim the Fifth Amendment, the right to self-incrimination, because you are free and
Right.
clear of any situation.
You're still open to perjury. You're still open to contempt if you don't answer the questions.
Yeah, so which begs the question. It's like, okay,
Yep.
well, this kind of goes back to the laptop to me, is why would Hunter Biden, whose dad is the vice president or the president,
Right.
take his laptop into a Joe Schmo shop in Delaware
And forget about it.
and forget it? That to me is that's if you put a gun to my head and said you got to guess, I'd guess that he's turning state's evidence, and that was a big piece of it.
Right. And that they had to come up with some cover story for it.
Which begs the question, okay, why has Christopher Wray and the FBI held on to that fucking thing without releasing it? That's about 500 other questions then.
And here, I've got something for you here too. And all the furor this week and that dominating the news, what isn't being reported or shown? Look over here. Something else is going on.
Of course. That's always the case in Washington.
That was a totally, hey, look over here. Hey, if he was stupid enough to be photographed with a doobie in his mouth, dude, it wasn't a doobie. It was a freaking crack pipe.
Yeah. I was
Asleep.
Gonna say,
And he's got the drooling and got the crack pipe hanging out of the corner of his
but he
mouth.
also has that picture with the doob, I think, out of his mouth with the underage girl
That's right.
looking
That's
over
right.
his shoulder.
That's right.
The 13-year-old.
Misdirection, Lee says. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, no, here, it's the same thing with, that makes me beg the question. The appointments that are coming out from there's such a distraction from what? That's my question.
Right.
Pete Hegseth was on the Hill today, and it was all this distractions and
Right.
all this stuff about he's drinking on the job at Fox, and then all the people at Fox.
Which has also been debunked already.
Correct. And I'm just like, well, there's somebody that's very powerful in Washington that does not want him to get that job. So they're getting NBC News to do their dirty work.
What gets me, though, is that other names have been floated now out in public already.
Well, and doesn't it make you wonder, like, okay.
Including our own governor.
I know. Well, doesn't it make you wonder that was Matt Gaetz put up so that they could bash him, and because Pam Bondi was the real pick the whole time?
Right.
Who is very qualified to be the Attorney General?
I don't see Hegseth as being that kind of pick, though.
I don't see that either, because, I think he's qualified to do that job.
Yeah. But, okay, there's number one part of the craziness right there, and number two with the other part.
There's so much craziness going on. There's so much intrigue. I just, I'm waiting for a shoe to drop, though. I'm waiting for...
Lee says Bondi isn't so great in my opinion.
Oh, she was awesome here in Florida.
Yeah, I will agree with Scott on that one. Now, I will say the other one that got put up and dropped out, the sheriff from Hillsborough County.
That doesn't surprise me.
What the hell? I mean, he had to know this guy was going to be tossed out just because of the arresting the pastor part.
Yeah.
During COVID, that was a misdirection. Somebody else is.
Yeah, something. There's nothing that's unintentional.
Right.
Anybody that's because what are of course the left wing media, because misstep after misstep.
Lee says she backs red flag laws.
Yeah, he's right about that.
Yeah, I'll agree there as well. even thought about
Yeah,
that.
I actually forgotten about that.
Yeah, me too.
You know, the biggest thing we saw her do here, and I had a friend of Elizabeth's, a physician, and her husband was in the pain management business.
Ah,
Her husband's also a doctor, two
right.
doctors. Okay, and they're really nice people. And it was interesting because when she got appointed attorney general, he put his business up for sale that day.
So hell, I ain't dealing with her.
Oh, and he said she's going to clean this up
Right.
because he's like, he said there are other doctors, and he sold his here. Tells you how bad that situation was. He sold his business in 72 hours at the asking price.
Damn.
Yeah. And I told him, I'm like, Paul, man, don't fucking cry. You just had a giant payday.
Right.
So he's like, yeah, now I can go do something else.
Absolutely.
I was like, yeah, now you can go be a dad to your 12-year-old kids.
Yeah. Lee said, wow. This is pretty tasty, but you know, here
It's going down pretty damn easy, isn't it?
Yeah, when you're talking about your cold there, it's got a little cough syrup.
It does, because the
Feel to it.
viscosity to it. Yeah. Yeah.
Here, we'll throw a little. I got some peppermint sticks over there.
I'm trying to nurse it a little bit. Like I don't. This is one of those drinks where all of a sudden I'm like,
I can do 2 or 3 of these.
I could, yeah.
We don't have enough syrup for all that. We have enough for one more.
Yeah, probably one more.
So what else we got on the craziness docket? Hey, now that you mention it, what happened to the hot toddies idea? Here, I can just make you a hot toddy after.
Yeah, no. Although the weather dictates that it is toddy weather.
Yeah, boy, it is. I tell you.
You know, I'm wearing the hoodie today.
I got freaking long sleeves over.
You know, see, I can't help this. I was wearing this all day, just what I told you. I feel so fucking.
Should I put some Tom Petty on back here?
Do you remember what? There was a Seinfeld episode about that. It's just so fucking comfortable.
Wasn't there a movie called Commando?
Yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, Lisa, since you still, how about the hot toddies idea? Since you still have your cold, it's good for you.
Yeah, that's what they tell me.
I've got. I don't think it's local, but I've got honey in there. You know, we can fix you a hot toddy for that purpose. But you'd have to stay around a little longer.
I'll be fine.
Oh, man.
I'll tell you the other craziness.
Okay.
This is completely non-political.
Good, okay.
Okay? Chickens.
I love his chicken stories.
Well, I've got 8 chickens. Well, one of my chickens, I never knew this, because chickens molt. Okay? So they lose their feathers and grow new feathers. Well, one of my chickens, one of the younger chickens that I have, is going through its first molt. She's going through her first molt. Mm-hmm. Well, I didn't realize that when they do that, their hormones can go bananas.
Oh, boy.
And sometimes they can get very aggressive. All of a sudden, I have this chicken, which is a good-sized chicken, that is like acting like a rooster on all these, just beating the shit out of all the other hens. And I'm just like, now what's funny is, so I'm the rooster, okay? And I told Elizabeth, because she tries to be nice to the chickens. I'm like, no. When you get one that acts up, you gotta, like, you can grab them by the neck, and you push their head down on the surface of and they know who's the boss then.
Right.
Well, this one, I did that to her, and she, as soon as I let her up, she jumped up and was trying to claw me. And as she was doing that, pow! I sent her about 5 feet into the air.
Scott's over here kicking chickens.
I kicked that chick. Well, so funny.
ASPA, PCA will be on the phone tomorrow to you.
She stopped picking on the other chickens, but the funniest part was today. I walked outside, because I wanted to change their water out. Because I noticed they were low on water. As soon as I walked outside, she was like, "Oh no, I'm getting the hell out of here!"
I know him already.
And I thought, "Oh man, I guess I kicked
Scott's
that
reliving
rooster.
his college glory days over here with the chicken.
I guess I booted that chicken a little too hard."
Oh man. Well, it's better than Chrissy Nome. Sorry. What shoes were you wearing? Chick kickers, he says.
I was actually wearing a pair of my flip flops.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
He's kicking them barefoot. Who's that football guy that used to?
Tony Franklin, for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Wow. Lee's our only participant out there tonight. I guess nobody else showed up. Oh, I did find out Carmen cannot watch us on YouTube.
Why not?
Apparently her YouTube glitches up, so it delays, but it'll glitch and then delay, and then she has trouble getting caught back up because of it.
We need to start simulcasting.
I agree with that. Unfortunately, that's a paid option, so it's going to
Well, I think
the first of the year.
I think we can simulcast on X.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
because X has a live feature now. That's one of the reasons I was like,
Right.
"Hey, give me that information so we can figure that out."
Okay. And maybe through the box, if X allows you to simulcast from there, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
'Cause otherwise, usually you have to get a software like OBS or something like that.
I don't know shit about that. You know that I don't know shit about
Right.
that.
Well, I can tell you.
And there's a
this,
part of me
Restream-
that I don't want to know shit about that.
I can tell you, Restream actually offers their lowest tier paid allows you to simulcast to 5 different at one time.
Oh, really? Wow.
And X is one of those. Actually, it would cover anything that we would.
How much does it cost yearly?
I don't recall. I'll check it out.
Yeah, let's find out. Maybe the first of the year.
But yeah, but I don't know if the production box will work with that too, unless you have one stream key for the entire thing through Restream.
I have no idea.
There's a lot of technology involved in that crap. But I'm hoping that after our little hiatus that I can have the production box up at least for us, if nothing else.
Which I think would be a really nice added bonus.
So programming notes.
Oh, yeah.
Let's do
Okay.
the housekeeping overall. So social media, obviously YouTube at Loquacious Libations. Facebook mirrors that at Loquacious Libations. Instagram Loquacious_Libations.
Hey, I made a post today on Instagram.
Yes, he did.
And I tagged Anna de Armas too. I'm 100% sure her people or her will never see it.
Right.
But you never know.
You never know, right? And then on X, we are at Loquacious Live, though we haven't done much on X yet. But we're going to be
We
exploring
haven't done
that
shit
too.
on X.
Right. But here, the next 2 weeks, next week is going to be the super secret blind that Scott has been planning.
I've been actually planning this since
Months.
fucking August.
Summer.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've been on this since Jen. You said you were going to do this back
Yep.
when we were doing Jen.
Yep. I had it in my head, and when I went on vacation, I got a couple of the pieces missing, puzzle
The
pieces.
puzzle pieces, right.
So
So he's got a super secret blind for me next week. I have no idea.
and I'm not even going to let them see the bottles until after we reveal what they are.
Right.
And here, I mean, there's one of these
And the
bottles.
beauty of this is you can actually pour the blind.
Well, no,
No,
one of
Betty, I've
one
never
of these
seen
bottles I've never tasted.
Oh, okay. So we'll get Betty to do it for us then.
So yeah,
And then the week after that, we're going to do our final show of the year, the holiday show, where we're going to do eggnog. I haven't decided which bourbon we're using.
Grandpa's eggnog.
Yeah, okay, so we'll just do
I think
Ancient
you got to
Age.
do ancient age.
Yeah, and here, you know what? I tried it with the benchmark because we both talked about it being the upgrade that would be the closest to AAA.
No,
Not even close.
and well, you could go get the 10-star if you wanted for $170.
$170, right? No, hell no, thank you.
Yeah,
But
not
no, we
not,
will do that.
Not
with
a
the-
value proposition.
Right. So here we will have begun the year with on our May 8th episode with Ancient Age.
And we can conclude
And
the
then
year
we'll
with it.
conclude the year with ancient.
We'll
Age
bookend
for-
with ancient
Yep.
ages. Not, here. It's a tradition for you.
Yep.
And I think that and it is the quintessential holiday beverage.
It really is, and that is the reason, like you said, to go full traditional with it and just go with the way that my family has always done it.
Yeah, I love traditions.
Yeah.
Especially this time of year, I'm really big on traditions.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to partake in your family tradition.
Absolutely, and that's really cool too. That we will have started the entire run of Loquacious Libations with the tradition, and then finish the entire year off after being here for 7.5 months at that point.
Yeah.
Or 8 months.
And now
overall.
there's I can hear the calculator. Lee's looking at his calendar right now. Yes, we're taking 2 weeks off because Wednesday fall, Christmas and New Year's both fall on
Wednesdays.
Wednesday.
Yep.
So we are going to take 2 weeks off. We're not going to. I doubt we're going to produce extra content. We might.
Maybe a little
I'm
bit
not
here
going to
and there.
exclude it,
Yeah.
but we probably won't.
We'll see.
We'll see. And we'll come
But
back.
he said, nice thumbnail, by the way. Probably the main reason I showed up early. He liked the picture that I put of Anna.
Oh yeah, no, she's
Easy on the eyes.
she's an attractive girl.
And I thought it was totally appropriate that I found a picture of her holding a damn old-fashioned glass.
Well,
So it may have been from the Vanity Fair article.
by her own admission, it's her favorite
Yep.
drink, and she prefers it if you make it with Luxardo cherry syrup.
Yep.
So more
And by the
power
way,
to.
Vanity Fair has an actual video of her doing this.
Yeah, I know that was the video that was underneath Bruzel,
Oh, okay.
which is why I'm like, oh, okay.
I'll catch up in a minute, guys.
It's the reason I call it the Anna de Armas, because everybody kind of knows who she is, but nobody
Right.
really knows who Bruzel is unless you're really into whiskey. And then everybody knows who
Right.
Bruzel is.
I get his notifications. I just never get a chance to go.
You
back
know
and
what's
watch it
funny
all.
though on that picture that you created?
What's that?
I mean, she's good looking, but right next to it is a pair of cherries with a green leaf standing flat out. Like, Michael,
I kind of thought that at the same time, but
everybody's gonna think
it's the
that.
only thing that I could find that had cherries. So,
Okay,
a
so
neon cherry.
I think you were
my
picturing.
options were limited.
I think you were picturing Anna teabagging you. That's.
I don't know about all that.
I had to bust your chops, man.
Lee says, I did notice the cherries. He says, I had no idea who she was. Actually, still don't. James Bond girl.
Yeah, that's where I first found her, but
Right.
she's a Cuban actress and a pretty good one actually too. She's got a lot of screen credits, so
Yep.
And
when I was looking for her picture today, I actually put in her name in old fashioned, and that was how I found that picture.
Oh, okay.
So, and that's also how I found all the references to the video and all that kind of stuff too. So it's
Makes
out there
sense.
that it's called that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's actually called that overall. Lee says, which one? I don't know which one you're talking about. Which one?
Which one? What? Which one? What?
That'll be fun to go back and figure that one out. So we finished Craziness Roundup. We did housekeeping.
I'm just complaining about this.
There's only a little bit left. That's what I'm.
Well,
complaining
here
about.
it's part of the problem with old fashions
Uh-huh.
is they're really only 3-ounce drinks
Right.
with a big ice cube in them,
Right.
so they go down so fast. I mean,
Don't
they're
they-
meant.
Don't they call these double old-fashioned glasses? In other words, could he make just two at once?
Well, here's what a lot of people don't know. If you're a bartender, the bartenders out here will know this. One of the secrets if somebody comes and orders an old fashioned, make it a double, you don't put 2 shots in, you put 3. You really don't change anything else.
Interesting.
So it's not a true double. At least that's the.
It's
no,
a shot
here.
and a half, basically. A drink
No,
and a half
it's,
rather than a double.
it's a drink and a half, but and okay, I'll fess up. That's the way I was taught.
Gotcha.
Okay, and so
So
here.
it tastes stronger, so they think they've got more.
Well, it would fill this glass,
Right.
more.
Right. Because of the large cube in it too.
Correct.
Once again.
Oh, the Wilkinson sword. I don't know why I call these the Wilkinson swords.
Because it looks just like the old Wilkinson blades ad.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
The ads.
Yeah. I used to use Wilkinson razors
And I used
when
to
I first started shaving.
Me too. And I used to get my chin with my butt chin. You know what I use for that now, though?
What's that?
I didn't use it tonight, but it works perfectly. I got one of those nose clippers.
One of those clippers.
And I just go like this, and I go right in there. It works perfect.
That works.
I never nick my chin anymore.
Which Bond? He said there have been some devastating Bond girls.
She is in with Daniel Craig, not the last one, the second to last one. I think it's called A Good Day to Die.
Okay.
Research that. Just you could put just Anna de Armas Bond in at Google and here.
Lee's going to watch that movie tonight.
She plays a pretty cool role. She's pretty funny in it, actually.
Skyfall, he says?
No.
Not Skyfall.
I'll look it up, Lee.
So,
because I'm curious now too. I should have looked it up prior to coming over.
So Betty and I have a fun night planned for tomorrow night.
Oh yeah, I'm will be curious to hear the report.
Oh, dude, it's going to be so cool. We're going to Orlando tomorrow night to see Creed for the second time since September. But tomorrow night, Three Doors Down is opening for them again. We'll support
No
them.
Time to Die.
No Time to Die.
No Time to Die is the Bond movie she was in, but she was also in Knives Out, Blade Runner 2048.
Oh, she was in 2048, really?
Ghosted, Knock Knock with Keanu Reeves, Deep Water, and Blonde.
I've seen Blade Runner 2048 one time.
Yeah, I mean,
I
Blade
think,
Runner
yeah.
is a classic.
Right.
I mean, that was a great movie. It was
Yeah.
a pretty decent remake.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they did a pretty good job with it overall. Especially when they brought in Sean, what's her name?
Yeah.
That played the original replicant.
Yeah, I can't.
can't
Sean Young?
Yes, yes. That's the one with the big motorcycle jump, he says. The Bond movie.
Correct.
Correct. You are correct, sir!
Yeah, that's.
Ed McMahon.
I want to get. Here, this is a picture of her in that movie.
Oh, okay. There you go.
There, I don't know if I'm getting it in the camera.
I'll tell you in just a second. Close enough for government work. And the return of the Aston Martin, he says.
Correct. That was that one.
Yep.
Yeah, the motorcycle jockey and the Aston Martin were both seen in Italy, if my memory serves me right.
Gotcha.
And then he goes to Cuba, and she is the CIA contact for him in Cuba, in Havana.
Gotcha. Cool.
So
I'm gonna have to go check that out because, like I said, I lost track of Bond.
well, and
after
it's
a while.
interesting. It's interesting because her character was irritated the shit out of me because she's kind of a ditzy, funny, quirky girl.
Right.
And it's like, oh, this is a young agent and she doesn't have her shit together yet. And then all of a sudden they get under attack and she waxes like 3 guys in 2 seconds. And you're like, the character completely changes.
There's that misdirection again.
Yes.
Yeah, he says she's yummy.
I wouldn't know, Lee. Good for you. Yes, she's an attractive girl.
But so, yeah, the highlight of tomorrow night to me, though, because, especially since I've seen Creed and Three Doors Down recently, the highlight is who's opening overall tomorrow.
Oh, I completely agree with you.
Dude, I cannot wait.
I almost would go just for that.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I am with it, too. I mean, I love the other 2 bands as far as from a live perspective goes. Three Doors Down more than Creed in that overall regard. But Creed puts on a hell of a show, and Mark Tremonti, holy shit, what a guitar player!
If you twisted my arm and said, "Oh, Betty can't go," I'd go, "Oh, I'm going," even though I have to work on Friday.
You know that would never happen.
I know that she loves Creed.
Dying.
I know.
But anyway, to quit beating around the bush here, The opener tomorrow night is Mammoth WVH.
Yeah.
Wolfgang Van Halen.
Which,
Who I will say right now, I would rather see him playing his own material than I would to see either Sammy and crew or Alex and crew trying to do any kind of tribute to Eddie.
you know,
This is Eddie's legacy right here, is this boy.
I know. I'm almost wondering if Eddie's really dead. Did they just say
He's
that?
out there with MJ and Elvis.
Or did they say he's dead so they sell more albums?
Possible. But I know he was like...
I know he was really sick. I mean, he's probably dead. I mean, the guy smoked 6 packs of cigarettes a day for
Right.
60 years.
Oh, speaking of, here, let's dovetail this with Hot Chicks, since we were talking about Anna, right? And Eddie Van Halen. Have you seen the latest thing that Valerie Bertinelli did on her social media?
No.
Okay, I'm gonna have to go ahead and go try to look this up.
Did
so I can
she
show you.
she take her Jenny Craig seriously all of a sudden or what?
Dude, she got vulnerable.
What? That's
Valerie
interesting for a Hollywood type.
Bertinelli. Yeah, and she actually posted a picture of herself. Oh, come on. Where's the original post?
She looks pretty good.
Yeah. So this is a actual recent picture of Valerie Bertinelli that she posted on social media.
And you know what? Good for her.
Yeah.
Really good for her. I mean, she got really big for a while.
Yeah. And
After
after being that big and to be vulnerable enough to post that picture,
yeah,
period.
that's why I say good for her.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, more power to her. Dovetailing again, Lisa. Yep, you caught me.
I mean, yeah, she's my age too.
Yeah.
So good for her.
Speaking of your age,
It's going up.
it's going up this week, man.
Going up. Every day going up.
Yeah. So he got a birthday coming up. What,
Friday.
Friday.
St. Nick's night. That's the very German tradition. Well, German-Russian tradition. St. Nicholas would visit kids to see if they were naughty or nice on the 6th of December.
Ah, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
He says, how old, Scott?
2. Too old. Oh, to be 20 again.
He's right in between us, Lee. Lee's got 9.5 years on me.
You know, what have I got? 5 years on you? Yeah.
You'll be, what this year?
61.
61.
61 years young. But you know what? Even my daughter,
Those cherries are so good.
I know they are good, and then you sit there and suck on the water, and it's still pretty good.
I know, right?
You know,
Of course, I've always done that with any kind
that's
of bourbon
now you can
drink
see
anyway.
why. You can see why though the old fashioned is my favorite cocktail
Yep.
because you always can nurse
they
that
darn
ice
kids.
cube. No, you know what I was going to say is my daughter Grace. Because if you saw my wife Lee, she is 4 months or 3.5 months older than I am,
Mm-hmm.
and she looks 10 years younger than me. I mean, easily. I've had well here I can show you a picture. Well, I
Notice he's not getting out his phone to show pictures.
because I don't have any pictures. I might have a picture
Lee
of my
says,
wife.
how is it I'm always the oldest guy in the room now?
That sucks, doesn't it, Lee? I'll show you a picture of my
Didn't
wife.
used to be that way. Used to, you and
I
I
do
were the
have.
two youngins. Even though you had nearly 10 years on me.
That's a bad picture. Here is my wife with the biggest triple tail.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the biggest triple tail. Screw the picture of my wife. Look at that damn triple tail. that is a 12-pound triple tail.
And that's how far our delay is right there. That's the moment you took the phone to the camera.
That's insane. But yeah, my wife gets it all the time. She'll tell people she's 60, and they'll be like, "I thought you were 40."
Right?
Yeah. But my daughter Grace is like, she calls me Cupie. You know, like Cupie the doll. She's like,
Yeah.
she says, if you just got a little facelift, you'd look like you were 25 again. Like, of course, she sees pictures of me when I was 25, and I'm like, no, I wouldn't.
No. Lacking one thing from back then, for sure.
Well, it
right?
already started. It already started falling out. But you start putting that helmet on, and you with a propensity for it anyway.
Right. I wonder if hats is what did this to me.
No, what did it to you is dihydrotestosterone. That's what did it to you.
Okay.
Okay, you're a big converter, just like I'm a big converter. What's very typical of big converters is they have no hair on their head and hair everywhere else.
Hirstute, as they say, right?
You know, that brings up remember who was the Indian guy we worked with at Gatorland?
Oh God, what was his name?
I can't remember his name.
I
but
cannot.
I
don't want to say one because it'll just sound racist if I do.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't a bad dude,
Right.
okay, but he all the time he would bust my chops. He's like, "Man, you got them
DHT," he said.
You got them ferrets on your arm," because I have such hairy arms. He's like, you look like you got a pair of ferrets on your arms."
Right. I cannot remember his name to save my life though.
I can't remember his name
Ross
either.
or Buck would know. We'll have to
Yeah,
ask
they
them.
probably would. As soon as Lucas disappeared, so did he.
Right. He was one of the cronies, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm. One of the criminals, yes. Lucas and Tony exited, and 3 other people exited real quick. We're not sticking around for this.
Wonder what Ryan's up to nowadays.
I don't know. I know PMAC was the
He was
sales
general
manager
for a while.
A while. So was Swole.
You know who was general manager last time I heard? Do you remember the branch manager from Sun State at the Gainesville main office, Heather Bennett?
Oh yeah. Really?
Yeah, that's Buck's boss. She was my boss for a little while. Now she's Buck's boss.
You know,
she also handles all their social media.
You know what's nuts about that?
Or did for a little while. What?
You know, when I was interviewing with Tony, we had a conversation, and he told me, he says, "Are you sure you want?" He asked
Shivani? Was that his last name?
Tony.
No, I'm thinking wrestling.
But
it
wasn't
WCW.
It was a Tony. It was something Italian name,
for damn sure. Siobhan or some shit.
Started with a C.
Yeah.
Can't remember. It doesn't matter. But he was like, "Are you
make you a deal that you can't refuse?"
Well, he asked me. He says, "Are you sure you want this job?" I was like, "Well, I need something to do. I mean," and I was very honest with him. I'm like, "Listen, this is what's going on. This is what I'm trying to do, but I need cash flow in the meantime."
Right.
So he was like, "It's right on the tip of my tongue. I can't get it out."
You almost came up with his name.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyways, he was like, you could do my job. Your resume clearly says you could do my job.
Lee, he's out. He says, "Y'all have a great night. Hey to Miss Boop." That's Betty. "Be sure to tip your bartenders and waitresses."
Thanks, Lee.
Thank you,
We'll
Lee.
see you next week.
See you next week.
Cheers.
I hope we got anybody left watching.
Cheers.
We'll keep going for a minute.
Cheers, partner.
Cheers, man.
Love you. Mean it.
One day we're going to have to actually figure out a way to get you in here remote, if nothing else.
Yeah, we'll put a screen here.
Here, I got Aiden's old TV over here.
Just tip
that
it.
Monitor. We'll
do a Zoom call.
Yeah, we'll do a Zoom call with him and have him in as the guest.
Because this isn't big enough.
Yeah, no.
No.
That wouldn't fit his big ass head in there. Anyway, Lee, you know I love you to death. You know I'm just busting your chops, man, like you do me always. Anyway, I guess yeah, it's 9:29, brother. We made it through the whole hour already.
Every week we say this, but it's like, where the fuck did it go?
Right?
It just shouldn't go this fast.
Next to RD Dog, he says.
Right
He's
over there.
He's right over there. You can't see him on the particular shot here.
Oh, yeah.
We're gonna try to here in that 2 weeks that we take off. We're gonna try to improve the set design a little bit and the production overall a little bit too. So hopefully we'll have a little bit of improvement when we come back. To that. Put the screen next to.
But
RD Dog.
no promises.
Put the screen next to RD Dog. He says.
Yeah, but that'd be way over
That'd
there.
be way the hell over there. That's why he wants it way over there.
Oh, he wants it over there so that he's
So
not
he
on
can be-
camera,
so he
but
can
we
be
can
seen.
talk to him.
Right.
Yeah, of course. Yes, okay, I
For
know.
my
It's
virtual
Mr.
presence,
Jack
he
Wagon
says.
to you.
No, we'll actually move RD Dog back over here and have him next to the monitor if we are able to figure out a way to do that. There is an option though when you go live on YouTube, you can invite somebody else to go live with you. So I wonder if we could do him just
It'd be worth the experiment
split
just to
screen
split
one
screen
night
it.
or
Yeah,
something like that. Yep.
it'd be fun.
So maybe outside of regular Wednesday night activities, we can test some of that stuff sometime. So
Yeah, we should do that.
have a drink with you on the weekend or something. Yeah, a special loquacious libations with Lee.
Lee Grayman.
Lee Grayman. He says, "LO, excellent. Later, liberators, liberators in this case."
Yes.
So that's his thing. He always ends every conversation with later something ater.
Okay.
Like Doofenshmirtz from Phineas and Ferb.
Yeah, I get it. Fritz Nickel.
All right, so here, let's recap again, kind of what we're going to do the next couple of weeks. Next week is the Super Secret Blind. After that is the Eggnog Week, where we're going to do Ancient Age and specifically brand-wise Southern Comfort Eggnog. You can find that at any Publix or Winn-Dixie or I'm sure Kroger as well for those of you in Georgia. And then we're going to take a couple of weeks off and hopefully make a couple of improvements to the set over here.
And figure some tech stuff out. And,
Yep.
and who knows, we
Improve the overall
we
experience.
might record some of that shit and put it up anyways. I have no idea.
Yeah, Lee, what wasn't Sherry coming out? Yes, now she's going to be here
January.
January 22nd, if I remember correctly.
So late in January.
Right, so it'll be a couple of days after inauguration is what we're looking
Whoop,
at.
whoop.
Yep. So which is part of the reason she's coming down here for that. So
Whoop, whoop.
I don't know where Sherry is tonight, but hopefully she's out there and doing well, as are the rest of you who normally watch us. We're also going to try to figure out how to do some simulcasting, so maybe some of these folks that can't see us on YouTube
Can get to us. I
can
know
get to us
that
on Facebook or one of the other formats.
we will
if
look into
nothing
that
else.
technology, and if
Yep.
we'll see if what we can swing and make work. And
Absolutely.
because one of the options that we do have is, I'm either going to upgrade this, or I'm going to expand the. I'm
the memory on the
upgraded
road.
upgraded to a new unit
Right.
that's not 12 years old. Or
That's the same phone you've had the whole time I've known you.
pretty close.
Yeah. I think you've changed phones once the entire time I've known you.
Yeah.
And that was not long.
I
after
take
Joe
care of
Land.
my phones. I don't beat them up.
Yeah.
Because
I did
this
too. I just upgraded.
this phone does everything that I want it to do.
Well, this is my last phone.
The only thing that this it just doesn't have enough memory anymore.
Right.
That's its pro. I got to keep constantly clearing shit off.
Right. Right.
Send me a picture. I look
See,
at
Lee?
it and I delete it
Right.
because it sucks up too much space.
And Lee will tell you, I'm really bad about sending pictures. Of course, you know that too.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
I'm very visually oriented as far as when I'm telling people about shit.
That's a typical man.
Yep. Yep. AH, sorry I'm late. Hey, AH, Allie. My daughter just got here and we're about to shut
Well,
down.
we're about to play out,
Yeah.
Allie.
Allie, you missed an incredible drink.
Great drink.
Yep.
Great
Yep.
drink, named after a pretty good actress. A cute, very cute
I
actress.
never even hooked up to Bluetooth. We're not going to do music tonight.
No, here, come on.
All right, hang on.
We got to
Let me
play.
pull the music up. It's going to take me a minute to get it up there, but because I got to go to the Bluetooth too and turn off the cast. So, Allie, thank you for joining us, and you know what? I can't wait to see you either, kid.
Hey, you know what? While we're talking, as we're going out, while you're doing that,
tell her about that whiskey. Yes,
this is a very interesting whiskey. I don't know if you're going to be able to find it out there. It's by a blender finisher out of Lakeland, Florida. It contracts his distillation. It's actually Texas whiskey. But what he does is he takes used maple syrup barrels, fills them with tart Bing cherries from Michigan, and then dumps whiskey into it and finishes it for 6 months. And then bottles it and sells the cherries too. This is a pretty decent bottle. It's either VB whiskey or V3 whiskey. I'm not sure. My son Jack ran into the owner proprietor of this company at Total Wine and sold him a bottle. Only $33. Is it worth $33? Yeah, I'd say it's worth $33. You know, I guessed when Jack said guess the price point, I guessed 55 because he's kind of a smaller player, and usually they're a little more expensive, and it's unique enough.
right.
So for $33, is it a value proposition? Yeah, I mean, is it the best whiskey you'll ever try? No, absolutely not. It's a Texas whiskey.
Right.
But
put it this way, I'm considering going and buying the bottle of this just to have.
the bottle you should buy just to have
Uh-huh.
is the Jim Beam Winter Blend.
Okay.
Rather than this.
Rather than this.
Yes.
So I was thinking, you know what? It might be a little bit of waste to do that. This would be good with Coke.
Absolutely, it'd be very good with Coke.
Like having a
Because it does have a cherry flavor,
Right.
and the maple is in there, give you some sweetness.
Right.
It's
might
an
be
interesting
a little
combination.
bit of a waste for an upgrade to a bourbon and Coke, but still might be pretty tasty.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you.
Yeah.
So, all right, y'all. Next week, Super Secret Blind should be a lot of fun because Michael's not going to have any idea what we're tasting.
Right.
We're not even the brand name, the bottles, nothing. He's not going to see anything until we reveal, the countdown. And then the week after that, we're doing Ancient Age eggnogs.
With Southern Comfort eggnog. Get that at, like I said, any grocery store pretty much carries the Southern Comfort brand of eggnog.
Which is a Duncan. Well, it's
a Duncan tradition.
a Duncan family tradition.
Right. The Ancient Age of the Huggins part of the family. The Southern Comfort eggnog came later. Before that it was Atlanta Dairies or Mathis or any.
Oh, okay.
Actually, it was Mathis Dairies.
all the local
milk.
stuff. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Which is
And
fantastic.
their eggnog was, oh my fucking God. Anyway, Southern Comfort's the closest we can get to that now. It's got a little bit of that bourbon flavor in it already, but we're going to add some Ancient Age to it and make it even better.
It should be good.
All right.
We'll see you all next week.
Have a great one. We'll see you next time.